Auburn Blitz is now on the air, your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Monday edition of the Auburn Blitz. Brett Pritchard and David Jones here with you. David, good to have you back, man.
Good to be back.
Last week, you were on a hiatus.
Grandbaby time.
Grandbaby time. You know what? That
Coast.
takes priority over everything, doesn't it? And we held the fort down for you till you got back, and but we're glad to have you back. And glad all of you have joined us out there like you do every single day on the Auburn Blitz, Monday through Friday. And our program brought to you by Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team, Big Fish Real Estate Group at Lake Martin, Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores, and J. Smith Construction, residential and commercial. So glad to have those guys on as corporate partners of the program. You can comment away as you can every single day on our Facebook page at Sports Blitz, Sports with a Z, and a lot to cover here on the program today. And you also can give us a call, 256-234-6221. To be part of the program. The NCAA tournament now has the Sweet 16 set. David, we'll talk about those teams. We'll talk about Auburn's two matchups this past week. Obviously, we talked about it a little bit on Friday after Auburn won that game against Iowa, and then turned around and played on Saturday against Houston. Didn't work out too well. Got off to a good start. Looked good at half, and a little bit more of the same we're used to all year. Can't hold a lead and kind of go in a shell. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about all the SEC teams that moved on to the Sweet 16. You look at Eric Musselman, man, and this Arkansas team. For what it's worth, they're always right there. Since 3 years in a row, he's had Arkansas in the Sweet 16 and on the verge of going to another Elite Eight.
Yep. And he's not a muscle man. We found that out.
No, he likes to take his shirt off and get in the stands, but he's muscled up at Arkansas since he's been there.
Barkley was talking last night, Brett, at the end of the evening, the UConn Arkansas game next weekend. Charles said that's going to be a grown man game. Man game. So, they had a great weekend. They sure did. And a little disappointed in Missouri, a little disappointed in Kentucky, our Auburn Tigers. We could call today's show Auburn Blitzed because we got blitzed this weekend.
In everything. It wasn't a really pretty weekend for Auburn athletics. No. If you look at, Suni Lee not being in the start lineup on the gymnastics. They won the first session, but I think they finished fifth overall in the SEC championships. Suni was out again, and I'm not sure that she'll even be back.
I don't think we'll see her again. I don't.
What's going on there?
I don't know. I've got one of my former students is interning as an athletic trainer.
Right.
Maybe I need to shoot her a little text. She may not tell me. They're very secretive about all
I'm
that.
sure that they won't. I mean, they haven't said anything about it. We'll talk a little bit more about that too. Baseball did not have a good weekend in Fayetteville. It's not going to be a good weekend for a lot of teams that travel to Fayetteville, but it was bone cold and our bats were cold. We might as well have been hitting with icicles because we didn't score very many runs. And Arkansas is number 7 in the country for a reason, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later on in the program. I'll tell you the concern should be softball. Softball, maybe a little smoke and mirrors with the way they started off the season. And, ever since then, David, it has been they lost the opening series to Georgia last week, 2 games. They lost 2 of the 3 there, and then they travel out to this tournament in Oklahoma. And we know Oklahoma is the number 1 team in the country, and but they played Weber State and Northwestern, and neither one of those teams very good. And Northwestern wins 2. We do beat Weber State, I think 4-3, and then just get the doors blown off by Oklahoma. And this is Mickey Dean saying this is the best team he's ever coached as far as any other place he's ever been. He's numbers wise, he's got a great record, but I'm just not sure he's the right fit for Auburn. This is not. I'm not going to say we're pre-Clint Meyer days. softball. I think we're better than that. But I'm telling you, this is not Clint Myers coached softball like we were used to when he had Auburn at the top of the polls in the country and making the College World Series and winning the SEC tournament. And we've dropped off precipitously since all that happened.
Yeah, it's the swagger that there was always a swagger with Clint. That's kind of his style. And of course we just, hey, y'all show up, we're gonna beat you, and that mentality doesn't seem to have taken over the Auburn softball. Now we talked about we got two of the best pitchers you'd think anywhere, and the bats hadn't come around.
And this has been the problem the whole time.
Yeah.
Of course, it was bats and pitching against Oklahoma. Yeah. And I look, Oklahoma's really on a different level than everybody right now in softball.
Yeah.
But, really kind of eye-opening how far away we are from them. And, so we'll be in conference play moving forward, and I know that'll be the focus. And you can't let one series define who you are, but it wasn't a good weekend. Hadn't really been a good week for Auburn softball. But, I think Auburn baseball, Jason and I talked about it on Friday. When you go on the road, David, you got to get one. That should be the goal in this conference. That's what Auburn was so good at doing last year. They were so good at, at least getting one game on the road and winning their series at home. And, to get off to a start where you get swept really kind of puts you behind the eight ball. And hopefully, they'll be able to rebound. But right now, you're seeing that struggle. Obviously, we'll talk a lot about the Saturday matchup, Auburn and Houston. And I thought that Auburn got off to about as good a start as you could get off to with the number one team in the country and the number one seed, one of the top four seeds in the tournament. And, we've seen this happen too often with this team, where in the second half it's like play not to lose instead of play to win. And I don't know how you go through an entire half and only make 4 baskets. That's hard to do in major college basketball. And 2 of those baskets came when the game was out of hand.
Right.
So really you made 2 buckets in meaningful time, and then too many free throws missed to count. I mean, it became comical at one point.
Yeah.
That it just game's over. You can't hit anything from the line, and you can keep throwing the ball into Janai Broome, but that's their best play. Foul him, put him at the line, let him miss it.
Absolutely, I'd have done it every possession. I mean,
so just your thoughts, then we'll start there.
All right. Well, look. I've said this before. I'm gonna say it again. In Bruce, I trust. I love Bruce Pearl. He's a great recruiter. He gets these guys playing, and we're an elite defensive team most nights. But until Bruce and his staff begin to demand a little tighter ship offensively, we give these guys too much freedom, and it's hung us. I mean, how many times in the second half the other night did our 5'10" guards try to drive all the way to the rim and just get completely swatted? I mean, at some point, you got to pull up and hit an 8-foot jump shot. I mean, we aren't very smart on offense.
What about our dribble drive and kick out? I mean, do we not try to do that at all?
They're just so dead set on getting to the rim.
Well, that's my point. I mean, that's the problem is it's like we don't have offensive sets to where when a guard drives downhill, you draw the defense in to kick out for a 3 or a dish underneath the basket where you draw a defender off of a guy and then you make a pass underneath for an easy layup or whatever. It's like, look, I'm about to challenge you. I'm undersized and I'm about to throw it way off the top of the backboard and hope it goes in. So you're right in that. I thought that you come into the second half with a 10-point lead and just totally it evaporates within about 4 minutes.
Well, somebody said Kelvin Sampson's a pretty colorful guy. By the way, Kelvin made a big deal out of Auburn having a home game. I don't think he'll complain about home games if he makes it to the Final Four because it's in Houston.
Yeah, that's right.
Come on, dude. But They said his halftime speech probably peeled some paint off the wall in that Houston locker room. And they came out.
Well, they were getting it taken too.
Yeah, they can't. Well, Bruce said we ran whatever we wanted to. We don't run a whole lot. We don't move players and the ball as much as I would like for us to do. You watch some of these teams like Fairleigh Dickinson and Miami, some of those teams, and you're sitting there, and that's great offense.
Miami,
they
again,
create.
You saw that last night again. I mean,
they put a clinic on us last year.
And they put a clinic on Indiana last night.
They did. They're fun to watch, and don't sleep on them.
Well, I mean, I still think there's several teams out there. I don't think this is a given on anybody. I mean, we've already seen the craziness of this year's tournament. I mean, we've had, there's always upsets, but I mean, look how many top seeds have fallen. I mean, Houston was in danger of being knocked off, and you would have had 3 of the 4 gone before the Sweet 16.
Only Alabama.
And so, but Houston did hang on. Sasser contributed. Shed contributed, and obviously they need them. But the thing that
Mark killed us.
Well, crap, man! Their 2 best players were on the bench when they made the run they made. I mean, we couldn't even take advantage of 2 of their better players sitting over there in foul trouble.
That's right.
They gained the advantage. I mean, we once again, David, and I said this Saturday in a group text. We allowed a guy to have a career night against us, and you go back and look at 12 losses on the season, in about 7 of them, there was 1 guy that went for 27, 28, 29, even 30 points. Yeah. And we couldn't do anything about it.
And Mark would have been your probably 4th or 5th concern on an average night.
That's right.
He killed us.
Well, again, the other 2 guys sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
It was a prime opportunity for us to extend the lead. Instead, they took the lead and then ran away from it with us. We couldn't hit a shot. So, just getting started here on the Auburn Blitz. We'll take your comments. We got them coming in. We'll also take your calls when we come back. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route, to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen-printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
SCAG, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that SCAG means productivity and reliability. Every SCAG mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. SCAG.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
J.A. Smith Construction, with 19 years experience, is your trusted choice for construction. Site clearing and grading for new home construction, basement excavation, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 334-531-0199 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Here, just getting started, 45 minutes left. In today's show, we've got comments coming in. We'll get to those now. We also got a caller that's coming in, so we'll go to the phone lines first, and hopefully I'm picking the right line. Terry, you with us?
Yeah, guys, how y'all doing?
What's up, brother?
Hey, Terry.
Hey, Coach. Look, guys, I'm only going to say this one time because it only needs to be said one time. Wendell Green came from the OVC for a reason. And he went to the OVC out of high school for a reason. Okay, that's all that needs to be said there. How soon do we start seeing some changes as far as the transfer portal and stuff like that? I realize the NIL stuff is always a factor. But how often do we see guys start jumping in the transfer portal and all that coming to fruition? And what do you guys think of that?
What's your thoughts on it, Dave?
I think it will be soon and quick. 'Cause as soon as this tournament gets over with, you'll start seeing the movement.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, last night I'm watching a game, and that Niebuhr guy that was with Kansas last year was playing for somebody else. I didn't even know it. That kid's a player. I mean, Terry, it's going to be quick. And
I mean, this team's going to have some changes. I think there's going to be some guys stick around with this team, which we're going to need because you only bring in one guy in, Holloway, in this class. I think you got a major boost with Chance Westry being healthy, coming back. You got to hope that that you look at it from a standpoint of Johan Traore maybe developing, continue, and he was a 5-star for a reason, and hopefully finds his niche. Alan Flanagan potentially could come back. Also, Jalen Williams, and you got Janai Broom back. But in the backcourt, you really got to think about who the possibilities are there. I think Aiden Holloway is going to come in and challenge for that point guard position, which he should. And but I think Auburn could, with a bunch of veterans, could be a pretty good team next year.
And you throw Westry back in there.
Well, that's what I said. Yeah. Once you get Chance Westry back healthy, he's a major shot in the arm.
Yeah.
Well, there's the question I want to ask you guys. With the two guards being juniors, Green and help me out, Brett, a little bit there.
KD
Johnson, right?
Yep.
Okay. How are they going to take it sitting on the bench? Because that's what they're going to be doing. If they get the right guards there, they can play. I think Chance Westry can beat either one of them out.
Well, Chance Wester's going to.
I can beat out Wendell Green.
They'll jump in the portal, Terry. That's what they'll do.
And more power to them. Yeah. I mean, that'd be Wester's what, 6'5", 6'6"?
6'6".
And you start bringing in some other guys about that size, and that's been the argument all year long. And I've said it; they need to get bigger at the guard.
But Aiden Holloway is one of the top point guards in the country, and he comes in, and if he's what we've seen, he's going to be a major impact right away.
Well, I mean, what do you guys think about it? Do you think they'll take a sitting on the bench? I just don't. I think Wendell Green's ego.
Here's the deal. I mean, it's real simple. Well, it's real simple. I mean, they'd either decide to compete and get in there, or they can go somewhere else. I mean, that's just the world we live in now. And I think that's what Bruce talked to Devin Cambridge about when he left. I mean, he said, look, you're welcome to stay, but, you know, of course, at the end of the day, we could have ended up using Devin Cambridge. He ended up being a great player for Arizona State. But, you know, at the time, he was struggling from outside, and Bruce said, look, we got to have somebody that we can, you know, and that person was supposed to be Chance Westry, but he got hurt. So, you know, that's decisions that, you know, players have to make, and they have to listen to their coaches, and they have to talk all this stuff over, and you have to end up making the best decision for you at the end of the day.
Well, now I'd like to see Jalen Williams come back. Flanagan, it's either way. I think he'll never be the same after that injury. I think he was very.
He got better. Look, I've been the biggest critique of Alan Flanagan. Anybody in this group, I'm fessing up.
You have.
and the stuff he does drives me crazy. But that guy got better as the year went on.
Yeah, he did.
And it's like he got back to that pre-Alan Flanagan injury Flanagan that. Maybe he got his confidence back, and maybe he was trying to do some things that, you know, he was trying to press too much or do whatever. But he seemed like, especially in the Iowa game, that he really, when Auburn needed him to kind of take over and get to the rim, he was able to do that, and he gives you that athletically.
Hey, Terry, if I had to ask you and Brett both who was the true leader on our basketball team this year, I don't think you'd be able to answer that question because we didn't have one.
I said that 2 months ago, guys. We didn't have a leader on this team the whole time.
But I think Jalen Williams could be that leader next year.
Hopefully. He's too quiet right now.
Yeah, well, that's what. Yeah, but he needs to.
Right.
He's a quiet, classy kid, wonderful kid. But
maybe the best player on the team.
Yeah, I hope he comes back. Yeah,
I think he will.
I really hope he comes back, quite honestly. But that backcourt's got to get bigger and better, quite honestly. And I think we all.
I think we all know where the concern is.
I think we all know that.
Yeah, I think we all know where the needs need to be addressed.
Yeah.
And like I said, Alabama, who plays up next? San Diego State.
Yes, San Diego State, who's a pretty good team.
Okay, don't know much about them, so.
Yeah, they're pretty doggone good.
So one side of the plant to the other end.
They're solid. Yeah.
That's right.
Rather, I'm sorry. Appreciate it, guys. Have a good day.
Terry, thank you, brother.
Thanks, Terry.
I think this is for us. Is this other call for us here, Kane?
Yes, it is.
All right, perfect. Make sure before I hit something else. Caller, go ahead.
Hey, guy, how you doing?
Doing good, brother.
Listen, I love Bruce Pearl, but if Bruce don't see what he needs, and I know y'all keep saying what he was hoping Westry would be the guy. You need more than one shooter, man. And if he don't go out and find him some real shooters and some real shot makers, Bruce Pearl gonna be just like Gus Malzahn. He'll be on the downside. Because if you guys can see what the problem is, and I can see what the problem is, but yet still we going out and getting these still 2 5'8" guys coming in next year and the next year after next. Man, when I look at this tournament, and I've been watching just about every game, can you imagine all these guys shooting the ball like they shoot the ball, everybody except for us in Arkansas and Kentucky? Even Pat Calipari know he needs shooters. Why don't these people go out knowing that basketball is about putting the ball in the basket and get people that can shoot? Auburn know they need shooters. And I'm not going to get no 5'8", 5'5" guys that can shoot when I can go get 6'6" guys that can shoot. Look at Kansas State shooters. They shot Kentucky out of there. Look at Creighton. And Brett, you always say this, man. We go out and get 4 and 5 stars, but our 4 and 5 stars sure don't. I know you say it in football, and we can correlate it to basketball too. Our 4 and 5 stars don't look like the other people's 4 and 5 stars. So I don't even know. Like I said, if Bruce don't see what his problem is, the problem on this team is that he needs shot makers because Alabama got about 12 of them over there. Houston got them. K-State got them. Everybody got them except for us, Arkansas, and Kentucky.
Well, you right, James, and when I come back, I'm going to address that, brother. I appreciate your call, buddy.
Man, thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Got to get the break. Stay tuned. More Auburn Blitz right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau tri-tunes, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Country Clipper zero-turn mowers are designed for comfort, accessibility, and ease of use. Only Country Clipper offers your choice of steering options with industry-exclusive joystick steering or twin lever steering. Their patented stand-up deck, standard on every model, allows for quick access to the underside of the deck for routine maintenance. With a wide front step and optional handrail, getting on or off your mower has never been easier. Stop by Fun Carts of Opelika today for a test drive. Country Clipper mowers, designed for you. Fun Carts of Opelika, located at 618 Lee Road, 113 in Opelika, Alabama.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Kalijah Idol is coming to Lake Martin and the River region. The opening rounds are at Martin's on Lake Martin starting March 17th. Then at Alabama's Little Bit of Texas at Wetumpka from March 31st to April 22nd. Kalijah Idol 15.
Make your way to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Check out the powerful new Chevrolet Silverado 4-wheel drive crew cab, discounted up to $9,250 off. Chevy Equinox up to $6,750 off. Shop online anytime at glennsmith.com. That's GLYNN Smith.com. Plus, no payments for 120 days at Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
We have over 200 new and used vehicles on the ground or on the way. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz, halfway through the program here on this Monday. Brought to you by Mortgage Pro there at McKinley Team, Big Fish Real Estate Group at Lake Martin, Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores, and J.A. Smith Construction there for residential and commercial needs. Comments pouring in. We'll get through these. I'll start at the top. Ty said, I think Auburn baseball will be all right. You can't play baseball in 30-degree weather.
Arkansas didn't have no problem.
Arkansas can, unfortunately. Steve said, why does Jasper play a majority of the minutes when Donaldson had a great tournament? Jasper had 1 point, 0 rebounds, 0 assists. Well, actually, he had 2 because he made a layup. But
we covered that during the break.
Well, let's stop there on Steve's point. I mean, there's nobody that you can point a finger at other than Bruce Pearl on that. He makes the decisions. Mm-hmm. Trey Donaldson had a coming out party. We needed him there in that Iowa game. Wendell had a bad first half. But, you know, when the chips were on the table and it was cut to 4 by Iowa, they almost came back from being down 17. Mm-hmm. And guess who was in the ball game? Wendell Green. Where was Trey Donaldson? Sitting on the bench. Mm-hmm. Why wasn't he in the ball game? He had a really good game to that point. Now, kudos to Wendell for hitting free throws coming down the stretch. He broke a record at Auburn for most consecutive free throws, and that's great, and we needed all of them. Needed him at the line on Saturday because obviously Janai Broome can't hit anything. Yeah. But the bottom line is Steve had the same question a bunch of us did. Why, when he was on fire and can't miss, and why do you not ride the hot hand? It does not make any sense.
He played 8 minutes yesterday.
But that's just unacceptable. Yeah. Jim said, what's causing the sloppy play in the second half with good leads, no player leadership? Seemed like Auburn has some good players, just something missing. I think you're right, Jim. I think we've said it on here for well over a month. Just
who is the leader?
Five guys playing in silos.
Yeah.
You don't have any continuity. The offense 90% of the time is taking a shot with under 5 seconds on the shot clock because they can't generate any type of movement. It seems like there's a bunch of standing around. I do think there hasn't been an alpha dog in this group to kind of – I think they've tried to make Wendell Green that, but it just hasn't worked out. Yeah. Ed said if we don't get at least 3 to 5 new players we missed in Bruce – post-game interviews, he commented on how many players that he missed on that were playing in the tournament. So why do y'all think he missed on them? Well, the Desi Seals miss was because of some academic thing. Mm. He couldn't transfer in because we didn't have the program or something. You know, same thing with Grayson McCall, and I think it was another kid somewhere a few years ago in football. We couldn't get in because of a hiccup there. I mean, sometimes we're our own worst enemy.
McCall would be on campus right now, Brett, in spring training if it wasn't for that mess.
So there's the answer to that, the best I know. John said Auburn and Bruce are 1, maybe 2 key players away. Bruce knows it. Hide and watch what he does in the all season. I mean, nobody has more faith. Nobody is dissing Bruce Pearl. Nobody is saying he's made some horrific decisions. Now, it's okay to question a guy that's, you know, in mid-game that you take one guy out for another guy and it doesn't really make sense. It's okay to do that. He's not beyond criticism because he's a good coach. Even good coaches get criticized. But at the end of the day, Bruce Pearl's going to continue to have Auburn in a competitive situation to compete for this league.
Yeah.
He has the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Not going to be – it ain't going anywhere. Yeah. You know, in some years, guys don't pan out. Johan Traore hadn't panned out. Doesn't mean he's not a good player eventually. Chance Westry got injured. That's stuff that you can't account for sometimes. You don't know. K.D. Johnson wasn't the player he was last year. You don't have any explanation for it, but it just happens. Some things happen like that.
Well, Brett, the only mystery to me, that Bruce would have to answer this, is offensively this season when Zep Jasper's on the floor, we were literally just playing with 4 players.
Playing with 4 guys on the offense side for sure. Yeah. I mean, you have no – he is – I don't know why he's not confident shooting the ball, but it's like hot potato. Yeah. When they give the ball to him on offense, he can't get it out of his hands fast enough.
Yeah.
You know, and so you're right. You're playing with 4 guys. John said, is the Auburn NIL support level for – what is the Auburn NIL support level for basketball? Is that a factor? Well, let me tell you what I think. Bruce Pearl was at the Lake Martin Auburn Club meeting this past year, and what he stood up there and preached majority of is Auburn people better get on board with NIL from a basketball standpoint, or you're not going to be competing for SEC championships and national championships.
Yeah. Well, you heard Tom Izzo yesterday in his post-game interview, because he's from New York. And he said, we're going back to New York. I want a cab ride, and I want a big old pizza. And he mentioned the player from Michigan State that had a great game. He said he can pay for that with his NIL money.
There you go. You know, and look, we haven't kicked out any specific numbers, but we all know that, we know certain players on Auburn's team coming in, and certain players, on teams that are in the conference right now and we know some figures. I'm not going to throw them out there, but we know what some of those figures are, and
I can small.
I can say that Auburn's in the game. Let me just put it that way. For sure, Ty said it won't surprise me if KD transfers, and I predict Berman will go play for his high school coach at Sanford as a graduate student. Maybe so. We'll see. Jeff comes in and says Desi Seals not being part, was a major setback. I agree. Now he's playing for Kansas State, and Kansas State's a good team, and they got a big win yesterday and over Kentucky, and they're in the Sweet 16, and he's a big part of that. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, you're going to miss on some guys, but Auburn, we all kind of felt good about this roster. Let's just be honest about it.
We talked about how deep we were going to be.
And it didn't end up being that way, because you just don't know why Johan Traore, who's a 5-star that you thought was going to be a major player on this team, really was insignificant.
Chance don't get on the floor.
That's right. Janai Broom did turn out to be what we all thought he could be. Thank God. Yeah. Because if he hadn't, this team wouldn't have been in the tournament.
Well, Brett, that brings up another point, and I think Bruce would probably agree with us. You've said this, and it's absolutely true. Aside from the offensive inefficiencies with Zep Jasper, we literally played without a true 5 on the floor most of the season.
We did.
Did we not?
Absolutely. And with the exit of the centers that we're seeing in college basketball this year, in SEC this year, Broom might be the best returning center in the league.
That's right.
That's no kidding.
Yeah.
Looking at what's coming back. Now, teams will go out and get other guys, but right now coming back, experience-wise, he's probably number 1. Yeah. Up against another break. Stay tuned. More Auburn Blitz right after this.
J.A. Smith Construction, with 19 years experience, is your trusted choice for construction. Site clearing and grading for new home construction, basement excavation, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 334-531-0199 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
L&G Ad Agency is the go-to vendor for all your digital and print marketing needs. We have in-house production for all projects, including graphic design, web design, social media marketing, videography, and print marketing. Our video production is up to industry standard with modern 4K cameras and drone capabilities. We pride ourselves in client-committed relationships, and every project is personalized to your needs. Visit lmgadagency.com for a free quote today. Let us tell your story.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama. Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
WF Cabinetry in Alex City has immediate openings for first and second shift production roles in addition to immediate openings for Class A CDL drivers with the ability to be at home weekly. We are ready for you to join our family and grow with us. Prior cabinet experience is always welcome. Second shift offers a flexible 10-hour, 4-day work schedule, giving you a great work-life balance right here at home. WF Cabinetry offers excellent health insurance and 401k benefits, as well as an employee purchase discount with daily production bonus opportunities. You can apply in person at 2212 Airport Boulevard in Alexander City or call 256-234-7900.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Couple segments left on today's show. It said, got to get a 5. Yeah, no doubt. I think we talked about that just before the break. And then Ty said, what about Akinbola? Talking about stretch. I mean, talking about a non-factor.
Yeah.
We
had some games this year where we could have used him because of injuries, and you didn't even see him. So that's not going to happen.
It said, let this sink in. If we don't believe NIL is important, the 5 teams with the highest roster value are still in the tournament. Of course, there are some Cinderella stories, but you can follow the numbers. I mean, that's what it's going to be in football and basketball and probably baseball and every other major sport in the NCAA.
That's where we are. It's a bidding war.
It is. So, going back and let's look at some of these matchups from this past weekend. Again, are actually moving forward. We won't recap. Let's move into next week in the Sweet 16 on Thursday. Michigan State and Kansas State. That's a 7 and a 3 seed. That'll be a good game. You know, Tom Izzo has Michigan State playing great. You know, and that's what good coaches do. And they're sitting there at 21-12, but they're playing great basketball. Kansas State's a good team.
Kentucky was up 5 with about 3 minutes
and then
to
they
go,
were down 7.
And the bottom fell out.
That's right. Yeah, of threes. Yeah. That's the bottom that fell out.
Yeah.
Arkansas and UConn, you just mentioned that earlier. Once again, Eric Musselman has his team on the cusp of going to another Elite 8, and that if that were the case, that'd be 3 years in a row that they make it, to an Elite 8. So look, man, you can't ask much more if you're an Arkansas fan from that guy. I mean, he's got you where you need to be, and they've had to do it with guys being injured. Nick Smith Jr. just came back a few weeks ago, and Brazil's sitting over on the bench with a torn ACL. If he'd have been in this lineup, man, yeah. I mean, they may have been, but heck, they're in the Sweet 16 without him. FAU and Tennessee, Florida Atlantic's 33-3 on the season, and they went ahead and took it to Fairleigh Dickinson. I know that little Cinderella story with them knocking off Purdue, but FAU's they're not some just podunk 33-3 team. I think Tennessee should be concerned, but Tennessee just beat the dog out of Duke. They just beat them up and
wasn't that beautiful?
They did, man. They just said, "Look, you ain't tougher than we are. We know it. We don't think you want any of this. And they put it, they played Tennessee basketball like they've played all year with everybody and had a low-scoring game for the most part. And then Duke couldn't answer.
That's what they love. Well, Brett, real quick on that Fairleigh Dickinson, Jay Billis looked that up in Ken Palm. That is the ratings-wise, that is the largest upset, biggest upset in the history of the NCAA tournament, to where Fairleigh Dickinson.
Well, there could only have been one other that's bigger.
Yeah, Virginia.
And UMBC in Virginia.
UMBC in Virginia. But I like that Fairleigh Dickinson coach. He's on the map now. You may see him get a little bit better job down the road here. And they just Florida Atlantic last night jumped out, I think, 11-3 on them at the beginning, and then they played them even.
Have you ever watched Game of Thrones?
No.
He looks like the guy off Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he's an interesting looking dude, isn't
he? I'll leave it at that. Most of you out there that have seen that or know what I'm talking about.
I don't. I'll have to look that up.
Okay, just look it up. Gonzaga, UCLA, that's a 3-2 matchup on Thursday. UCLA, good basketball team, man. 31-5. Gonzaga, 30-5. They move on Friday. You got San Diego State and Alabama. That'll be a great matchup there. And, this Alabama team continues to, really not have any close games. They come out and they've got everything you need from, being able to shoot the basketball, multiple shooters to, guys inside that can dominate and the length and cause problems for anybody as far as matchups are concerned.
And probably the top pick in the lottery next year.
Of course. I mean, and then you got maybe the best player in the country on your team. That helps. This is a good San Diego State team. It's 29-6. Alabama's an 8-point favorite in that game, and that game will be played in Louisville. So we'll see how it plays out. Miami, as you said, don't rest on the Hurricanes. They take on Houston. That'll be
a heck of a game.
A massive test for Houston. Now that their guys are back healthy, it seems like, this is a good team. I mean, and they've been number one a lot of the year for a reason. And we'll see. That's going to be an interesting game on Friday. And then Princeton, as a 15 seed, finds their way into the to the Sweet 16. They'll take on a number 6 seeded Creighton team that a lot of people picked to go to the Final Four. I mean, it was amazing to see how many, media guys feel high on this Creighton team. And, here they are in the Sweet 16. Yeah. They're 2 wins away from being there.
Princeton's made the second round several times under the old coach. Can't remember his name. I can't believe I can't remember the coach's name because I ran some of that Princeton stuff when I was coaching high school level. But they've never made it to the Sweet 16. And Mitch was a point guard on that team that upset UCLA back in '96.
Well, they're playing great basketball. I think it's a winnable game against Creighton for them.
Peak real.
There you go. That's right. Xavier in Texas. That'll be the final game on that Friday.
The Texas team's hot right now.
They are, man. But Xavier pretty good themselves.
Yeah.
So, up against another break. Final segment of Auburn Blitz coming your way right after this.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Kalijah Idol is coming to Lake Martin and the River region. The opening rounds are at Martin's on Lake Martin starting March 17th. Then at Alabama's Little Bit of Texas at Wetumpka from March 31st to April 22nd. Kalijah Idol 15.
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce, because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
OGS Tournaments. Russell Marine and State Farm agent Aaron Warren present Crank for Bank 2023, April 1st through July 4th. Win over $1.5 million in cash and prizes. Over 200 tag bass and 50 tag crappie are waiting on you. All ages are welcome. Fish from the dock, boat, or shores of Lake Martin. Get registered now online at crankforbank.com for only $110 for 13 weeks of fishing. It's Crank for Bank 2023.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Bucks Island is your boating headquarters. Are you ready to hit the water and go boating this summer? Bucks Island has all kinds of boats, with one sure to fit exactly what you want. Fishing boats, sport boats, pontoon boats, and all with low monthly payments. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island Service Department experts are also here for you to keep your boat in top running condition. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Don't be left standing on the bank this summer. Visit online at bucksisland.com and don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true, and the names have been changed because Brubaker Motors has sold to Sons Automotive. You heard right. Brubaker Kia is now Sons Kia of Montgomery. Furthermore, Sons Automotive is a family business with dealerships throughout the Southeast. The name Sons Automotive is synonymous with trust, and they care about the communities they're a part of. They're excited to serve the River region, and in the interest of justice, you will be served a sentence of big savings. Sons Kia of Montgomery, family owned, family driven.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz final segment of the show here. Taking your comments, your calls, 256-234-6221. Here's your little fast fact. If you enrolled as a freshman at Kentucky in 2019, you saw one NCAA tournament win in your 4 years at Kentucky and just 3 NCAA tournament games overall. The reason I bring that up is Ty just said Texas would be crazy to not keep the coach they have, but the word on the street is that they're still going to pursue Calipari.
Texas?
Why? Why would you? Tell me where. I mean, that stat right there is pretty eye-opening, and you know Kentucky fans are pissed off. You know, they last year got put out in the first round. This year got put out in the second round. They hadn't won the tournament in, 3 years?
Mm.
They hadn't won the regular season in, 4 years? I mean, are we seeing Calipari but they've got a $50 million buyout. He's got a $50 million buyout in his contract.
Yeah, that's a jumbo buyout right there.
So, but it looks like, and me and my dad talked about this last night, this NIL thing has affected the blue bloods more than the small, maybe equally in different ways. It's affected the blue bloods in that they don't have supreme talent over everybody anymore because everybody's playing the game.
That's right.
And it's affected these other teams that have never been like an Auburn and elevated them to that status, competitive status, basically overnight, because now they can go out and get as many good players as Kentucky, North Carolina, and Duke and all them can. I mean,
and they better get used to it.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Cal, it looks like it's wearing him down.
Yeah.
You know, it looks like if you look over there at him, and the way this thing is structured now, they don't have the advantage anymore.
Yeah.
And if you got guys that are willing to go out and play the game, I mean, look at North Carolina. They were in the national championship game last year. You know, they get beat by Kansas, and then you turn around and you look at preseason number 1. They don't even make a tournament. They're the first time a preseason number 1 team is not made the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
This is a result of this new era of college basketball.
It is. And here, so how do you? I don't know. How do you fix that? I mean, you know, the big money blue bloods in Lexington, the phone lines are hot right now. Those guys are beside themselves. So what are we going to do? What are you going to do? You better just daggum coach them up. You better get the best coaching staff you can.
That's right.
On that basketball floor and coach these guys up. Same thing with football, not to that degree, but look at Clemson and Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
They're not dominating in football right now the way they had been.
Look, you had 2 number 1 seeds get beat in the first 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
You got Alabama, who really is the only team that looks legit. And I mean, Houston was on the ropes against Auburn. I mean, if Auburn comes out and plays just half as good as they played in the first half, they got a chance to win that game. If they hit 80% of their free throws, the outcome of that game could be different. You know, if you only hit, if you hit any type of average on the season more than just the poor performance with 2 field goals and meaningful time in the second half, you probably win. I mean, this is what you're looking at. I said this Saturday. The 16 seeds aren't as far away from the number 1 seeds as they once were. You know, it used to be like a foregone conclusion that's a win, because up until about 5, when was it that Virginia lost to UMBC? Was that 16 or 17? Yeah. Up until then, it was a perfect record in NCAA tournament history. Now we've had two 16 seeds in the last 6-7 years beat a number 1. That's not a coincidence.
And we've had some 14s beat 3s. We've had some 12s beat 4s. I mean, and especially in basketball, Brett, when you only have 5 guys on the floor. And somebody said this yesterday, there are so many good basketball players all over this country.
Absolutely. I mean, you look, that's the thing. This is not football. You know, in basketball, you can run 5 guys out there and, you know, depth may end up biting you. But look at what Kentucky really was playing 6-7 guys.
Yeah.
You can get 2 or 3 guys. Look at Florida Atlantic.
Yeah.
You can win 33 ball games. I know you can play a dummy down schedule, but you can win 33 ball games, and all of a sudden you look up and you're in the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
You can go out because of the lack of numbers and get the right combination, and you can be as competitive as anybody in the country.
And where is Florida Atlantic? Isn't that Orlando?
Florida Atlantic is not. I think it's.
They may be down close to Miami.
I think it is. I think it's in. Is it Fort Lauderdale?
I think that's correct.
Okay, so
pretty good place to hang out for college.
Either that or Florida International. Well, that's where Lane Kiffin was.
Yeah,
the Owls.
The Owls. That's right. Yeah,
you know. So, but anyway, that's kind of the lay of the land in college basketball. I know look. The show's about over. We only have a few minutes left. I didn't get a chance to dive into the baseball like we wanted to, but you know, Auburn goes to Fayetteville. We'll talk more about it the rest of the week, and we can talk about it some more tomorrow. Yeah. But
15 hits the whole weekend.
But you know, that's the thing. You know, we've got a good lineup as far as our hitting, and we've been bragging on it, and they've been throwing out some pretty impressive offensive numbers. But you know, they played a stud team. And
Brett, here's the other one. Gonzalez, where is he? Maybe they didn't want to throw him out in that cold.
This seems to be, though, a recurring issue with Auburn over the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen Tanner Burns. We saw Casey Mize. Now we see Joseph Gonzalez. Didn't we have somebody hurt last year for a little while? I mean, we had some injuries on the staff last year. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why that seems to be an issue every single year, it seems like, with our number 1 guy.
Yeah.
So is it bad luck? Is it not being managed correctly, or what's the situation?
I think he was ready this weekend. I think.
Well, maybe it wasn't
with that cold.
right.
We may see him for a couple of innings tomorrow night against South Alabama.
Maybe.
Just to get him, because he's been throwing some bullpens.
Right.
So
well,
that sure would have helped if we could have thrown him out on the bump this weekend.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, he's our number one guy coming in. See, you can't afford to lose your number one guy and be competitive in this league. The Friday starters in this league are unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, Alabama played Florida. That game was over an hour and 51 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're dealing with now.
Pretty strong, yeah.
Real fast. So you get time to go that game and go out to dinner in a decent hour after that one for sure. Thanks, John. Appreciate the compliment there. That's going to wrap it up for this edition of Auburn Blitz. We'll be back with you tomorrow. For David, I'm Brett saying we've enjoyed it. We hope you have. See you next time.